as I said, see, we are JnanaMarga, and we are now transitioning to the intelligent textbook space. So what we are doing is what we had developed before, which is the overlay model. We are including generative overlays. You know, generative overlays are where the material is going to be synthesized and created. Okay, so in the original overlay model, actual humans would go and make the slides, and would make the videos. Even now, and the textbook was a given. We took an existing textbook. Even now, we are going to do this, but there is going to be a much bigger synthesis component. Okay, so why I introduced this idea of the intelligent textbook first, okay, is because intelligent textbooks is going to be part of the second, more very exciting generative AI internship. Okay, you will be part of that exciting process where you are involved with our platform. So that's why I kind of thought that you should know also upfront what we do and how we do it. Okay, so given a textbook, we overlay it with videos, slides, Q&A. So now the textbook itself, the videos, the slides, and the Q&A will be additions, enhancements as part of authoring. Okay, so we are building an exciting authoring platform which allows new courses to be made using our course builder, and course enhancer. So if there is an existing course, you can enhance it, etc. So that's why I brought up this idea of, say, maybe some of you becoming tutors, teachers, etc. And also, if you are a university, and you are looking at your academic, you understand the difficulties of making a new course, difficulties of including content from various sources and developing material. So the second internship deals with that, deals with the aspect of generative AI, and but then of course everybody has to prepare for it. See, what we are doing is, we are not asking, give me the best 3 resumes in your college. We are trying to take as many people as possible, and we are trying to upskill people to meet the needs of industry and our own needs as well. We are working at the cutting edge, bleeding edge, as some people may say, but what is important is, today IT is still big. 150 million new tech jobs in the next 5 years. They said it 2 years ago. So so this is going to happen all the way to 2026, and it's only going to keep growing. So they are saying 14 million jobs are now open, right? So what do you need? You need to skill yourself. You need to be ready. You need to say, okay, you need a person with this skill, me. And how you do that? You take classes in your college, and if that were not available, if you wanted an IT entry, take classes with us, and we have now reduced prices so that students can make an entry. We have 2 free classes also. One is the Java class. See, in some colleges, they teach C++, then they go to Python, and many students, they may take a first degree in ECE, they then go to MCA. Now if you are transitioning, right, and I transitioned myself. I was ECE, my undergraduate was in ECE, then I transitioned. Okay? And so when you make that transition, you need to learn a lot of the things that a 4-year degree in computer science these days. See, in those days, there were not this many languages, this many platforms, cloud computing, etc. So you learned only 1 or 2 languages, but even then there were 5 languages. You learned, so these courses are there, free courses. If you've never learned Python, you can learn Python. Never learned Java, you can learn Java. Okay. So then we also help students through how do I network, how do I get a job, how do I get an internship, and if on top of that you say, look, it's proving too difficult, then we only come to the internship solution. Okay. So you can take the pathways that we define, right? Front end pathway, back end pathway, Python, Python and analytics pathway. You know, all these pathways are there to a job. They hire front end engineers. I need a full stack guy. I need a back end guy. I need a Python with AI ML guy, right? That's how they think. You know, like because they have to deal with people in the thousands. TCS, which is probably the world's largest IT employer, 500,000 employees. Imagine that. The only bigger employer is the Indian Railways. And probably some big Chinese firm. Uh, but in the private sector, these are big employers. Cap Gemini. There is no end to this. This is IT is still ongoing. But today they are talking about AI being a job destroyer. But then what about the people who make the AI? The people in generative AI, right? They are going to be a hot commodity. So IT people just go from here to there. They one day they are in this building, they go to the next building. So that's how it works. So we have projects in generative AI, okay, and we also teach. We have the Python AIML pathway. Okay, so see, we you it, you sometimes what people think is, I just need to get two certificates. They are very certificate oriented in India. Now you have to think beyond certificates. You have to think about doing work. This certificate मिला, ये certificate मिला, मैं one day class गया, right? That kind of thinking, you have to little bit walk away from that. You actually have to write software. You actually have to be in the space. Okay? So you if you wanted to go to the Python pathway, you take the intro class, you take data science with Python, Tarun teaches it, and then you go to AIML. Okay, so there's also the front end pathway. Learn Java, right? Then you go to front end programming with Android and JavaScript, learn data structures with Java, right? Now, we don't have the secondary classes yet. So if you wanted a secondary class in graphics, and today these are going to be very hot fields. Apple has just introduced the Vision Pro. You have Google Glass. You have all these Oculus VR platforms. Web3, right? Uh, Metaverse, augmented reality. This is also we have a back-end pathway, which is also very very big. You go to a bank, they hire a lot of these back-end engineers. You go to fintech, you go to retail, right? Like Flipkart, Walmart, Amazon, right? They're all retail companies, e-commerce. Okay, so now let's come to our work. Okay, this is planned start is July. We are almost at the end, so I better get going with this project. Okay, so that's why I'm getting fully ready. Okay, and that's why there is pressure on all of you also today. We are looking to build this project. This is the first of the two projects that we'll discuss today. It's called the Temple Project. It is part of a stealth startup. A lot of companies are in stealth mode. First, let me define what stealth mode is. In stealth mode, the company is not yet incorporated. They don't have a website. Okay, you may also have a few ideas, right? And at this stage, they are looking to build a first product. Okay, now a lot of work has already gone into this first product. Okay, a person has been hired to work on the front end. The front end has been defined. the features of the product have been defined. Okay? So this is the first thing you do when, if let's say tomorrow you want to make a stealth startup. I know some of you there are thinking about this, you know. So how do you do this? When I spoke with professor at Srinivas University, he said, see, you must also train people in making these startups. Well, this is there's no better way than to be part of a stealth startup, because you are at the ground floor of something that is conceived from the ground up. What is a small idea then matures into something greater. Okay, so here is the temple corpus. Okay, so we start with, like, so here is the basic idea. Okay, you have a app. Okay, let us say Bhakti app on your cell phone. Okay, and what are you able to do with a Bhakti app? You're able to conduct virtual prayers. It is a way, right? I am myself quite religious also, and as part of we have um, I don't know, Rajshri spiritual. I sometimes listen to Rajshri spiritual, right? I go to the temple, right? But sometimes, maybe on a daily basis, I like to conduct a small puja, and many people will have a puja room, they will go and worship the deity. But then some people also on their phone, they today interface with, they want the phone or the app, an app on the phone to help them, pray, and to help them maybe do a small virtual archana someday, or do a small prayer. So that is the idea behind this. Okay, how do I do this, right? And so uh, uh, today there's so many things. E-commerce, you went to the store, today the store comes to you, right? So one of the things that we are going looking at doing is building a corpus, like a backend. So if you have all these deities, each of these deities, see, in Hinduism there are supposed to be 33 crore deities, but not all of them are worshipped, but many of them are. And in the case of, as part of that worship, right, uh, um, people need access to the various, there are associated temples, and there are associated ways of worship. The way Lord Vishnu is worshipped in Puri Jagannath is very different from the way Lord Vishnu is worshipped in Sri Rangam, which is in South India. The way Lord Shiva is worshipped in Kashi Vishwanath is very different from the way Lord Shiva is worshipped in Arunachalam. you know and of course, you all have heard of Kedarnath, Amarnath, etc. The way the goddess is worshipped in East India, Kamakya, right, is different from the how the goddess is worshipped in North India, different from how the goddess is worshipped in South India. So many temples in India. Okay, so one of the temples where the goddess is worshipped is Kamakshi Ambal Devasthanam. And Kamakshi Ambal Devasthanam is in this place called Kanchipuram. Okay, and so what do so now let's come back to the technology, right? What we are looking to do is we are looking first to use existing, first we make a list of temples and associated with that images from those temples. Okay? So we want to be able to gather the images from various sources, you know like the image of Puri Jagannath is very different from, say, Lord Krishna in other places, in Mathura, in Purandar, right? You may have heard of Purandara Vittal, right? So all these things are part of this project. Okay, so you we scan both the like Wikipedia associated with the temple. We scan the images from there. We scan also the temple website, the official side of the temple. And when there is an official Facebook page, etc., we try to gather this information. And when we scan, we crawl. Crawling is a, it may seem that it is very simple, but actually it's quite a sophisticated art. you know Crawling is not that easy. There are crawlers and there are crawlers. There are technologies associated with these processes. Okay, you may all have heard of this elastic search, etc., right? So then we take the material and then we organize it. I have a lot of this material now, right? I have crawled all these sites. I have got Mahendra, the mountain of information, like, right? When Lord Hanuman visited, was sent, right? He said, "Look, you know, um, you know, I don't know which plant is needed, right?" And he brought the whole mountain back, right? But that is Lord Hanuman, right? Now, for ordinary mortals, right? What do? We gather the information, we organize it, we filter it, we put it together, right? We develop a back end. Okay, so that is the second part of this project. You gather the information. You first have a list of temples, right? You have a list of temples. Against this temple list, you scan, Wikipedia, scan the official temple sites, right? Some sites are actually maintained today by governments, and some sites you have to also understand all that, the other aspect of it, the ramifications of some of these things. Okay, and they will have the other side to this is also we have special days, like you see this puja, right? Pujas, that will be a link to a particular day. Like, I don't know if you have all heard of um, um, Kumbh, in Prayagraj, in Kashi, Ujjain, right? We have Kumbh. And also in South India, we have Kumbh. Now, Kumbh is I have myself done work on researching some of these ideas. I am also a religious researcher myself. Now, Kumbh is a worldwide phenomenon. It is on that day when Mahakumbh happens. The river Ganga is, see, normally it is the Ganga, the river, the goddess, the river, right, who comes flowing out during this monsoon, right? In some cases, it is the devotees who gather. There is a flood of devotees who go to the temple, and that is the Kumbh. And this is at one time it was a worldwide phenomenon, and I'm doing research on this. Okay, so this is a 2-month project. Okay, so this is the payment plan for this project. Okay, we are planning some generative AI also for this, associated with this, with this crawler and everything. How do we, pick up the prayer? Must understand the prayer for each deity. Then we want to do virtual arati. How do you praise the god? Eulogy, aradhana. All these will be part of the service that will be provided on the cell phone. And so some of that UI work has happened. The backend is going to be built in the meanwhile, and this team is going to be responsible for the backend. And at some point, there will be a best API build, which will allow access to the data that has been garnered and deliver the service. Virtual RP, go ahead. Like you go click virtual aarti. You work with your family to on a particular puja day, right? It's Holi, it's Diwali, it is Navratri, right? We have so many festivals. Okay, so this is the role of this project. There's a second project that we have. Okay, so for this project we have exactly 20 people, 20 spots, you know, and so this is and it is mostly going to be first come first serve, and to the first come is the persons who pay rupees 5,000. Okay, so you pay that rupees 5,000 when you get started. Then after you have a 1 or 2 week initial training period, then somewhere along the line you make a second payment. Okay, then after the first month, so you have 1 to 2 weeks initial training. Then after the first month, around week 6, you will receive the student receive a first month stipend. Okay, small stipend paid by the sponsor. Okay, then you will in the 8th week, after you've or week 10, in the 8th week you make your final payment. Okay, week 10 you will receive a completion certificate, and you will pay. You will be paid your last payment. So you have two payments, rupees 4,000 and rupees 4,000. One in week 6, and other is week 10. You know, and so then project ends. You will get a completion certificate, and you're more or less done. But if the project sponsor says, "Look, you are excited, we are excited, we are excited to have you," then the project sponsor should, or if there is an agreement between the two sides, then you can continue, and the project sponsor will work with you on the what they see best. Okay, so that I am part of this temple stealth startup as well, but ideally there is another person who will make these decisions. This is the first few lines is what I have um, worked out, and this is what we are doing as part of JnanaMarga. Okay, so this is as far as this project goes. Okay, so then students who register for this can also attend the prompt engineering class, and it will be free for them. Students who you will also get access to the pathway, to the pathway courses. You can take any two courses for free, and you can of course always attend the Java and Python classes, and then you can take the data science course, etc. Okay, so you get a lot of access, and these come with two certificates. You will get an attending certificate. If you complete the course, you will get a completion certificate. Okay, so the courses have requirements. We don't just write you a certificate. You must attend, and if you don't attend, you must ask for the class, and then you must do homeworks. 2 to 3 homeworks you have to do. Otherwise, we like engineers who have done software. That's the key thing here. Even with these programs, we want people who do work. Okay, so now we come to the second project. We have 50 students, maybe even we may go increase it. Okay, so how this project this works is, you will do generative AI. So for that, the first thing you must do is you must join the prompt engineering course. Okay, prompt engineering course, Tarun will advise you how it goes. Okay, now you can of course pay the amount and join the prompt engineering course also. There is no there's no problem with signing up for prompt engineering. Okay, so what we are looking at is, we are in the second project, we are trying to build a new MOOC. MOOC is an online, think of it as an online university, an online set of courses. Today, with NEP 2020, we feel that one needs open content, open universities, open online courses, which eventually can be accreditized and then provided by actual universities as part of their service to students. So if you are learning, let us say, MCA, and then you want to take one or two courses, you're doing MCA with specialization in backend, you want to do one or two courses in AI, you want to do one or two courses in generative AI, prompt engineering, then you can work through this and get additional credit, additional upskilling, additional readiness. If you are a ECE student and you say, look, as part of ECE, I've learned, neural networks, right? Neural networks is a largely ECE field. When I studied, electrical engineering, that time there were early days of neural networks. They would do speech recognition through neural networks. Okay. Now, you can then also have a second specialization in AI coming from a ECE background. Okay, so they will also take school courses in here, and they will get additional services. Okay, so the Nalanda MOOC is eventually intended for professors, universities, and corporations. Very important part of this is corporations. So when a corporation wants to hire people and they want to hire, I need 20 people for this, right? They can come to, particularly you're an MSME, you say, look, I don't have all the bandwidth, you guys train them, get me 20 to 40 students who will solve, who will have expertise in this area. So for that we have made this Nalanda. So MSMEs can come work with the university, say, okay, now I need 30 people next in 3-4 months working in this area. Okay? And so we will help the university work with the MNC or MSME, right? And help them put together a plan to bring on board the students and work with us. Okay? So to do that is where our second project comes. Okay? To make this, we have a second project, which is the generative AI project. Okay? So this one, you will be building the intelligent books that make the new courses. So if you are, let us say, ECE student, you want to make a chip design course working with professors, okay, then you will work and with generative AI features, you will then work with the corresponding advisor, including both your own college as well as advisors that we bring from Silicon Valley and other places. Get a chance to work with them. They will then guide you in how the course is to be built, structured, etc., and how generative AI is to be used as part of making the ebook based. And again, this is a project that you will do, and you will be able to explain all the work that you did as part of the creating the what prompt engineering you used, how you use the prompt engineering. In this case, you got a textbook from somewhere, you got the videos from somewhere, you merge the two, and you made a new course, and that course is now available. So use generative AI in edtech. Okay, but tomorrow you may use generative AI in banking. Tomorrow you may use generative AI in healthcare. Tomorrow you may use generative AI in retail. Okay, but today you learn about it in the context of edtech. And if we get further projects, then we will try to also work with them in those projects. But also, if you need, we find references where people say, look, you guys are teaching this prompt engineering, you guys are holding these internships, can you send me some people? Then we will say, yes, here is Avinash, very capable and ready to go. So that is the model we are looking at with this. But of course, also you should interface very much with your campus placement. Your campus placement is going to be the people who really help. Okay. So now I'm going to stop. I'm now going to invite. I hope you have any questions. Let me ask. So, Temple College,
Yeah, yes, Renee. Like there are a few students who have questions.
Please go ahead, or do you want to read the questions? Either is fine. Let me stop sharing, or you want me to keep the slide on?
Yeah, let the slide be on. Yeah, Pankaj,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead. You can ask the question.
So first, thanks a lot for this opportunity that we are getting from you. A lot of thanks for that. And my question is, sir, that I'm unable to pay that. That first, I'm studying AI. Okay, I'm just studying it, and I'm unable to pay that. But I can do it this course, but I don't need that stipend. You can do it fine with it.
Okay.
You got it?
So I heard the question. So there were two parts, right? One dealt with the payment. The first one, can you, Prajot, can you little bit clarify first part of the question?
I think like he's also studying AI, and like he wants to, like he doesn't want internship. Is the stipend is saying.
Right. But first part he was asking about the time commitment, right? Time commitment.
Yes, sir.
So, see, the projects, the crawler and the see, for the Temple project, right? Temple project is a paid project. You are paid by the sponsor, right? Uh, that work will take some time, okay? Because like, let us say you have to crawl. You are allocated. There are about 600, 700 temples that we will probably crawl. Later on, if he increases the set of temples to crawl, then there will be more work. But an initial workload of, let us say, 800 temples, then you have to crawl 400 temples, right? And then some other work will be given to you. We'll try to keep it so that you do at least 8 to 10 hours the minimum, but it could be as much as 15 hours a week. So you have to allocate 10 to 15 hours for the internship. It is for two reasons. Okay? If you think it's too much, this is a very important piece of the puzzle. If you think it is too much, like 10 hours is too much, then of course, there is some people may do it very, very quickly. I don't know. Some weeks you may we may not have that many issues. We cannot. It's only an average number anyway. But it is important to do real work. And so this is not like I paid and I got a certificate. Okay? See, the aim here is that you learned a technology, you learned to use the Python scripts, right? You change the Python scripts. This is the most important part. You understood the Python scripts, you changed them, you improved on them, and you also understood all the parts. You found out how to make queries to the database, set it up, and push data into the database, etc. You do three parts to this. You build the data, and there's a lot of data here. Like, as I said, it is like Hanumanji going to the Mahindra, right? Looking for Mrityu Sanjeevani, right? So you have to gather all that information. You have to organize it. You have to put it together, and you have to then work with the team that is building the backend store. Backend store is not yet built, and eventually we will look at the backend development as well. So there's a lot of work here, And we are looking, ideally we want to have initially the data mining side, and then also the backend service side. Backend service will be most likely a REST API, and so building a REST API, we'll kind of go the design process there. And then so if you want to say these things in your resume, you have to do some work. You have to actually work as part of it. Okay, so that's as far as that. Okay, now as for the payment plan, right? See, now this internship, see, if we were to have an actual, paid internship, right? How will we do it? We will put out ads, and we'll get 1,000 resumes, and we will take a small number. Here we are not using that criteria, right? We are not saying, okay, now send me this 1,000 resumes, and I will look at 4 people, and I will look at 8 people, and I will pay them, right? We are not doing that. What we are doing instead is we are mixing learning, because see, the 5,000 that you pay, you take classes for it, okay, and then the some of the remaining amount, you're getting all your money back, so in that sense, really, if you look at it, you get so much for value for the money you pay, that it's meant to serve as a way for the students to participate both in the IT certificate program, learn the material, and also have material. So it will fill your resume. You see, it will fill your resume with the courses that you've taken here. It will fill your resume with the courses that you with the Temple project. You will have multiple lines to say. And when you go to an interview and they ask you to talk about it, and of course, I do hope you actually learn, some of the Python work, some of the database work, the SQL, etc. Table building, table design, etc. So there's a lot of stuff you will learn, and none of this is simple. Believe me. You ask the people who work on this, nobody will tell you, no, Python is right. Writing Python is easy. Then building, uh, adding building scripts that push data into database. All this is very, very easy, second nature to me. I did some PHP. I've built a REST API. All that is nothing. You can learn it by just logging into something somewhere. Real work you must show. The hirer eventually is going to ask, so what really did you do? And at that time, that's why we ask, we make you work. We give you the work, we make you work, we give you initial scripts, then we will help you with the secondary scripts, and then when you run into trouble, you will do the work. You will find, okay, now today I need to ask Sunny sir, today I need to ask Prajot sir, today I need to ask Tarun sir, right? So you have to ask other people, and so that's the idea here. So that's why we take a payment, because we have to do so much ourselves. So in that sense, if you make the initial payment, then you want to continue without the second half, right? That is, you then say, I don't want to make a second payment, I don't want to make a third payment, I'm just interested in continuing, right? See, if later you then say, look, I didn't want to do much work because I'm not paid. I didn't, it is not a paid thing. I'm really not really involved in this. Then your interest will also slip. That we don't want. Okay. At the end of it, it must be something that you sweat, you put in your resume, and then it comes back to you. Okay. And see, I don't know exactly pay scales today. Pay scales vary in India. And I pay scales are very different in different countries, you know. Um, but we have placed the pricing at such a level that it is really nothing compared to what people spend on a degree. You know, people spend tons of money on a degree. They spend tons of money getting into a degree. You know, class 11, class 12, they are spending money. Degree, they are spending money. Now they come and now they want a better job than what their degree alone will get them, right? So they say, okay, now is there a way to an AI job? Is there a way to a back-end job involving analytics? Is there a way to enter fintech where they look for people who have these other cutting-edge skills? You know, who can design REST API, etc. You know, who can build a who can do database backend work, and who can build a corpus. You know, I need another corpus. I need these are all very very critical skills these days. Who are in prompt engineering. You know, so then they look for people with particular skills who understand the terminology also. You know, and who can develop scripts, who understand the APIs, the Python APIs. You know, that's what the employer is going to ask, and that's what you really get. You know, and that is not free. Okay, so we are a for-profit company, and we charge. Okay, so of course we are getting value for the work. The stealth project may pan out, right? But we are taking a risk here. You know, working with with anybody who says, okay, now I am prepared to put my hand up, you know. And so let's say we spend a lot of time with you, and then after 4 weeks you say, you know, I don't have enough time for this, you know. Then it's you know, nobody has space for that, you know. Normally what do? There'll be one recruiter who will read 1,000 resumes and will pick 5, you know. We don't have that. We are saying, you come, this is for you. You come, you pay, you go forward. Okay? Where there are holes in your resume, and we are accommodating of it. That's the real thing. If you are already, one short of Google, this is not for you. Google has already hired you. You know, maybe you don't need to work on this unless you are interested. You know, but then see, these payments are nothing. You know, people pay today 3 lakhs to get a Allen class. You know, to join NEET JEE class, they will pay 3 lakhs for over 2 years in high school. High schools charge routinely 1 lakh in some places. So this is like we're asking 5,000 and 10,000 here, 13,000 total, right? Some of this you get back when the sponsor pays you. So that's why, you know, I don't think this is that big a payment. And if this is not for you in terms of payment, then it's not for you. Okay? But if it is for you, make the payment and let's get started. We will start in the next 2 to 3 days. All right. So that's as far as that question. Anybody else?
Yeah, we have Yash Kumar also.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thank you so much for the presentation. I have few questions, sir. First is, will the courses be a recorded lecture or a live class?
The course is live class, you know, and
Okay.
but then if you miss, see, this is what happens. We hold a live class, nobody or some people show up, but nobody is coming regularly. You know, 3 people
Yeah.
come all 8 classes or all 12 to 15 classes we have. 3 people come to the 12 to 15 classes, you know, but
Yeah.
the other people, they are all 60% attendees, you know, 60% attendance, you know. For them we record. And you must actually ask, we don't send you the recording for free, you know, meaning it is free once you pay, you know. So, but you have to actually ask the teacher and ask, and then someone will email you a link, you know. So that is the recording is not we actually require you to come to the live class also, you know. If you want completion certificate, we expect 60 to 80%, and the others also you must attend regularly. At the end, I ask for all the live classes. We prefer that you don't do that. We are looking for a certain level of sincerity even with the regular classes. Of course, we are planning to reduce the pricing little bit. But then see this one. See, for your 5,000 payment, right? This part of the payment anyway, your internship will pay you back, right? This part of the payment, you get classes for it. You will get 4 or 5 completion certificates for this part of the payment. And you will also go to this prompt engineering, right? So Tarun, do you want to discuss prompt engineering now?
Yeah, regarding prompt, like I already discussed, like we'll have workshop on prompt engineering for 2 days. So where we'll be learning like how to use prompt efficiently, and we'll be building a bot like a chat GPT. So it will be a workshop for 2 days. We'll conduct it on weekends. So they will get a certificate after successful completion of this workshop also. So like day one, like this day one and day two, these are the workshop content that we have mentioned, that what we are going to cover.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir. One more question I had, like the internships that you would be providing is from which company? Like whenever I will be writing it that in my resume, I have to mention those company names as well. So
Okay.
I would like to research about them as well.
Correct. So that's a very good question. Okay. See, right now, this company is a stealth startup. Okay. Now, if you needed us to explain, that is, our name. We are Gnosis Learning JnanaMarga Technologies. If you need us to explain this stealth mode startup, right? We can develop, as soon as the main founder, as soon as he incorporates, we'll let you know the name that he uses. Okay. Now,
actually, the problem is I have already done similar internships. That was also of 2 months and 1/3 of the price, and they even gave me a Microsoft certification exam, free coupon for that. But the problem is they gave me an internship. In the name of internship, they gave me a simple project that took me around 1.5 months, and that did not get me any credit on the resume, I would say, during my placement times. I'm a graduate. I've already completed 1 year of professional working. So I believe 2 months of working, I don't think that company looks at that perspective very keenly.
Well, see, this is a little bit different. Okay, see, this the main sponsor of this, right? He has a degree from MIT. Okay.
Agreed, sir. I did an internship with IIT and AICTC affiliated organization. Even they had a company, but what they told us that we will give you an internship with the industrial experts. But what they did, they were just asking us to complete their work, their projects that they had in their company, and that too very minimal work. Like it is just a small project, the mini projects that you do in your colleges, a subject project. So
this is not like that. This is not like that. See, this is the stealth startup is going to use the work that you've done, right? And if eventually this Bhakti app is released, you can point to it. Right now, it is not released. Stealth startup, that is the thing. That right now, the work is ongoing, and when it is released, you can show a point to the app in, say, Play Store. Okay. And then you can explain to the person, look, this was started by this person. He has actually the founder here, lead founder here. He has made 4 or 5 different companies. One of them was sold to Rakuten. Okay, and he's as I said, MIT. He was my classmate in IIT, and he's based in Silicon Valley and graduated from MIT. You don't get better credentials than that.
Agreed.
So So this is a little bit different. I understand your point, actually. That you don't want finally to be like you made a payment, you did all the work, right? See, really the thing is you did all the work, and if you you should get something firstly for the work you did. So
Yeah.
so that, we will make that count for you.
But will
It's
this
not the
project be
courses.
completed in next 2 to 3 months? Like, since I would be applying for multiple companies by let's say after 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
So till then, this app would not be launched now. So how will I explain to the interviewer that this is the application that we have built? That's what
We
my
will.
question
Yeah.
is. At least it
Yeah.
should be from scratch till end. We should be the part of that project. Huh? At least we should understand to explain to anyone like how the app behaves. What is the app? What we have contributed in that app. In 2 months, I don't think that we'll be able to contribute that much.
The backend will be ready by week, may not be right at the end of your certificate, but within a month after that the backend will be ready. And the service itself will fully be ready by the time you go. I don't know when placement is in India, maybe December or January. By January there will be beta, and I'll send you a video of it. A video of the beta. Okay. I don't know. I cannot even guarantee, that it will be like, earth-shattering new application. Who knows? Some
Yeah.
applications are they're very successful. Some applications end up being duds.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that we will be a reference for you. Okay.
Okay.
If
Yes.
if that you can take for granted. Okay. You have
Yes, sir.
worked with us, you have worked sincerely, you will have a lot of references. I will be a reference. Okay?
Sure, sir.
I will say,
And one last question, sir.
Hmm.
Will sorry, will we will we be getting the sorry? I just forgot the question when I was listening to you.
Go ahead.
The data, like what are the conversion rates from internship to full time? Are there any conversion rates that available with you? A stat or something?
See, at this stage, a stealth mode startup, right?
Mhm.
See, I'll tell you this much, that the sponsor, he has to see value. Okay? If you
Yeah.
are excited about this, see, firstly, I'll tell you, a lot of people, they get involved with the work, then they want to join. Okay? But they also say, okay, now really, I am interested in going to Google. Okay? I'm really interested in going to Facebook. Okay?
Yeah.
I have my Python expertise. I have learned in and out about this AI. And look, I'm worth this much. I want to go to Facebook and Google. Now, if you say, look, I need to be paid like Google and Facebook will pay me, and I want to be in this startup, right? Now, you ask any person who builds a startup, right? Can you pay like Google? Never. You can never pay like Google. You have to pay within certain limits. So that process, that conversion process, is of course firstly based on need. But typically,
Exactly.
I cannot give you that guarantee, right? Particularly right now, I cannot give you that guarantee. I cannot tell you, you work very, very hard here, and you have a good chance at being hired. If I tell you, I'll be lying to you. That
Yes, sir.
depends entirely on how this whole project does. I do think it will do well. I know my co-founder very well. Um, he's a very, very decent guy. Okay, that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
Beyond that,
Actually,
things have to
the
succeed.
concern is na कि I have been building apps for past 1 year for my organization, and it took around 3 to 4 months per application. Like for developing, testing, and all, it takes time, and debugging everything. So I'm a bit concerned with this project ki since it has only 2 months of duration. How will we be able to complete and test everything? If you say it's an industrial project, you have to test it first before launching the app.
Yeah.
Even after launch, it takes time to debug everything if any user gets an error also. So I'm a bit concerned about that part. That's all.
So see, you raised the right point, right? So that's why I introduced Where is that? Where is the slide? This one. If student is seen as necessary by the project sponsor, then student may continue during the ongoing months. There is a mutual requirement and agreement between the project sponsor and the student. Okay, so I added that line specifically to answer your question. Okay, so and you are very right. You have to test, right? But see, he may not take the entire 20 people. That's the point there. You know, like he has to also look at who he wants and who he doesn't want. During this period, we take anybody and everybody. We take 20 people, right? After that, it's up to him. He should say, okay, now I want to pay this much in the following in the post internship phase, right? I want to take like a a part-time employee, right? And then I want to look at, okay, now you tell me who's going to be very excited, who's going to do very well here. That he's going to also look at how far it has gone. Okay, so so that's the thing with this project. This is different from our generative AI or the second project we are working on. This is quite different from the follow on. Okay, so so that is my
Yes, sir.
my position on this.
Yes, sir. Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it will take, as you say, 3 to 4 months before it's
Yeah, it's
like
it's very difficult to judge any person on based on 2 months of experience, I would say. So that is my concern. Ki how will, if you are hiring any person for full time, you will at least test him. Like my company put me on a probation period for 6 months to test me whether I can deal with the pressure, with the working ability, have those skills or not. So
Yeah.
that is my concern regarding
yes yes so that's why this last line is there. We cannot give a
Yes.
guarantee. I paid 5,000 rupees and I got a full-time job.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Right, we are not giving that guarantee. This is
Yes.
not that
Oh.
kind of a guarantee. You have an interest, the sponsor has an interest, then there is a mutual relationship between the sponsor and you. We don't give that guarantee, and I want to be very very clear. I will not in any say anything. I, and but then see, I don't want to completely discourage the possibility. See, the sponsor is looking for people also. This, but then his decision making is entirely his, and he has to see, okay, now 1 2 3 has happened, now I need 4 to happen, 4 being a test phase, and I want to do CI/CD pipeline build, and make sure that the front end and the back end come together and provide a very high quality service for the world of worshippers. That no that see, that's why the reputation of the founder matters. See,
Yes,
some
sir.
founders will say, okay, look, I'm here, and then I don't know what the founder will do once it's bit.
Okay, sir. Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank
so this is a very early stage project. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, the other
Yes, sir.
project that is a little different. That is the generative AI work that we are doing, right? Generative AI, the work that we are doing, is quite different in the sense that this is cutting edge, but some of the parts we have built, and we have much more control. And here we will open up slots for 50 to 100 students. So this is a vast project. But the thing with this one is that, see, if you are looking at a future in this space, right, and you wanted these in your resume, you don't get that many spots all over today. You go put your resume in LinkedIn. Tomorrow there may be with generative AI in it, right? Tomorrow there may be it's a high demand position. Um, um, Today it's a very hot field. So but we do development in with it. So we are asking for people to come, and here the pay is a little bit less, and we are a little more accommodating here. Okay, So, but this project has 20. We are planning 50 first, and then we will expand based on supply and demand. Okay, so if
Yes.
there are more
Yes.
students who say, "Look, I want to be in generative AI. It's not there in my resume. I'm looking for to do some hands-on work, and then find a future in this business." And also once we get ready, and there are employers who keep saying, "Hey, send me 3 people, send me 10 people," then that is the basis. Then we will say, "Okay, do some work here with this ECE course, do some work here with cloud computing course, and then we will ready you, and then we will send the student with the resume, with the courses to with the prompt engineering course, with the AI/ML course to the employer." Okay, so that is the real plan here, and our hope is that over a period of time we'll work with the TPOs also to understand the requirements they are getting from the from the MNC or whoever is in your placement. Sometimes they will say, "Look, I'm prepared to, but I want this skill, that skill, this skill, that skill." So that's why we also have the courses. You know, we want the student to succeed at the end, because it's also our reputation that matters. The students who succeed, they will then say, "Look, I don't want situation where they say, I really tried very hard and I didn't, you know I paid them, I tried very hard, and at the end it didn't really pan out that much." But see, some of that happens because the student is not interested. They come 2 classes, 3 classes, my tomorrow I have to watch cricket match. uh, that that is a different case. Tomorrow you want
Yes.
to watch cricket match, it can be one day a phenomenon. But if it's a week, every week phenomenon, then that's then you want to enjoy your life. Then you look at corresponding answers. We cannot guarantee everything. So that again you have to understand that we work with excited students who invest time with us. See, your biggest investment is your time commitment. Okay, so you come to us,
Yes.
work with us, and you take away a answer in terms of experience. You learn, and very soon, see, the other thing that I do want to say is, you learn a little bit about what it means to be in a stealth mode startup. See, this is not Google, but it is a small. How do you build a small company, and how at inception you do design? That's the real plus here. Okay, so if you see value in that, like Flipkart probably started one day, in somebody's garage. Okay, Paytm started in somebody's garage. So that is the real thing here. That is also a learning. I will go to a big company, and somebody else has been doing all the software. They put me on maintenance, of code that was done 6 years ago. All right. Okay. So I
Thank
don't
you.
know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else has any other questions?
Yeah, Ashok Kumar had a question.
Go ahead.
Sir, I'm interested in Python as well as PHP MySQL. Sir, may I get a chance to work in both?
You will definitely get a chance to work in Python. The initial scripts are written in Python. We use PHP, as you know, right? Our backend is built on PHP. Uh, so definitely you will get to use MySQL. The either MySQL or Postgres, one of the two, which is very similar. MySQL, Postgres. How much difference is there? Um, as for PHP, Sunny, are you considering PHP backend here? Maybe the backend will be written in PHP, but again, both the sponsor also has to agree on that, whether it is PHP or some other. If he says, build it for me in Java, I have to speak to him. Okay, so but see, our backend is built in PHP. So if you wanted to work with PHP, right? Definitely, you can do MySQL. Later, we'll find some work for you in PHP with our this next one, Gen AI project. If this corpus development, if they don't do PHP, if you wanted to do PHP, this one will have a PHP. This one will involve all three. Okay, but this one, this course also, if you wanted to do little PHP, you can work with Sunny and he will work with you. We do most of our backend is PHP, right? Sunny, what are your thoughts? If you want PHP, there is no doubt. Let me see. Okay. So let me stop sharing firstly. Any other questions? Any other questions? See, I'm thinking of starting this internship in the coming week, and so essentially, it is first come first serve. Okay, and it is going to be with students. And we are planning to take the first 20 for corpus, Temple corpus, and get started. Okay, so please keep that in mind, and in the next 2 to 3 days we will start this work, and I think the associated course material, etc., will happen. Yeah, you should speak to Tarun and Parnika. Okay, please speak to Tarun. Every question he will answer. Okay, and if he is not able to answer, he will get the question answered for you. Okay, so reach out to Tarun. Yeah, see, he has added his phone number. Please note his phone number. Okay, please note his phone number. Reach out to him, and yeah, he sent his email. Reach out to him, and we are all set to get this project launched. And I think in 2 to 3 weeks, the other one will also launch. We'll do another open house for that one in about maybe 10 days, and that will include 1 or 2 more universities we are expecting. And if you if you are ready to go forward, make the payment and get started. Okay, and so the tools you will need, all those will also be explained in the first 2 weeks, and after the do get hold of some of the classes. If you've never had Python, then this is the time for you. If you've had Python, then it's good to get a little bit of refresher, and then get yourself ready. Okay, and we Tarun, once there are enough people, right? We will then try to create a WhatsApp group. Then we will have get your emails, and then we will set up an email group as well, and then we will help all the everyone get on fully on board. Okay, because this hands-on work is a little bit different from if you've never had an internship. Because some of you have had more than one. Yeah, go ahead.
So some student has question like whenever they are having exam, so we'll be giving them 1 or 2 day break for that time.
Yes. That we are going to be very accommodating. If you have some work, but give some notice. Give some notice. See, I don't, as the other person mentioned, right? We don't want the whole project to slow down with one person. So then take some help. See, when you have 20 people, we can easily move some of the work from one person to another. Don't sit on work and then say, I took a lot of work, and really, everything slowed down because one person took a lot of work. They wanted to impress everybody, and then they didn't do any work. So don't do that. That, of course, we will also be looking at right sizing. We'll speak to you about your ability to handle things. We will not assign work like I need everything done yesterday. We'll give you a few days. So if you have 1 or 2 days, you can accommodate. But then see, you keep waiting, and then say, tomorrow I have exam. I don't like that. You plan accordingly for your own exams. So let's say we give you 10 days. You can't say on the 10th day I have an exam. You sat 9 days and then you said 10th day I have an exam. I couldn't get anything done, right? So all that is also very important, and that is very important in learning in terms of your work also. You know? See the see sometimes I know some people say yes sir. Yes sir. What is the meaning of yes sir if you have not moved at all for 10 days? So I prefer when people are forthcoming, and that is also part of the learning, that you will get as part of this. We'll train you in all the tools. We'll train you in how to use the systems. When you run into trouble, there'll be people to help troubleshoot the problems. Okay, so there are people to support the work, and so that's why it is costly for us to build this. It's a costly endeavor. So please sign up, and let's get going. This coming week we will be launching the Temple corpus, and in a short period after that we will also do the Gen AI, and also the prompt engineering course will be held very soon. All right. Anything else?